Okay, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for visiting. What we're looking at now is a range review of the PSA AK47 build kit. This is the Generation 2. If you saw my previous video, you saw I had some issues with it. Let's just dive right into it and talk about it. I took it out to the range. I put about, I think it was around 400 rounds, let's say 375, somewhere around in there. And I didn't have any issues with it as far as ejection or failure to feed or anything like that. It functioned quite well. I was pleasantly surprised considering all the negative reports I've been seeing online. The sights were not perfect out of the box. I did have to adjust the front drum and the elevation. I had to adjust the windage and the elevation. The drum was very tight, and I still need to move it over a little bit to the left, but I got the elevation pretty good. I sighted it in at 25 because my understanding is because of the ballistics on the 7.62 round, that if you sight in at 25, then it's going to hit pretty much at 200 in the same spot, or close anyway. And so I put my sight leaf up to 200 and sighted in at 25, and then I went out to 200, and I was shooting at the little swingers there, and at 300, I moved it up to 300 and tried that. It worked okay for me. At 50 yards, I put it back down to 100, and it was hitting decent. So I'm happy with its point of impact, point of aim right now. Anyway, I'm kind of digressing. Some of the issues that I've been seeing online, specifically on one of the forums I visit, is the mag release pin. Mine is staying right where it needs to be. It's flush on this side. It's not really sticking out any on this side. It seems fine to me. Not sure how well that's going to come out on video, but the action has smoothed up some just in the 375 rounds. When I first put it together, if you reference my other video, if I hand cycled it to here, it would hang up. Now it goes ahead and pops in. Still a little tight, but I have no doubt that with more rounds, that's going to loosen up more. The handguard is still nice and tight. As much trouble as I had getting that in there, it's not moved any. It's nice and tight. Let's look at the bolt, or the carrier. The dust cover on this one's a little tight, hard to get off. There it is. And I don't know, that might be because of my recoil spring. But I haven't cleaned it, but I did wipe down all the carbon, at least prior to this. Recoil spring looks fine. Of course, this was not a Palmetto State Armory recoil spring. This is, if you saw in my previous video, this is from I believe it's a Polish. Got it from Apex. Bolt carrier and a bolt. Still no wobble in the piston. Still rivet, or not rivet, but the roll pin is still in there just fine, though. It's flush on both sides. The bolt. Oh, and there's some issue or some question about these bolt carriers. I'm not an expert at all. I have no knowledge really of metallurgy, but there's some question about whether this is a cast part or if it's milled. And this is one of my two issues with this rifle. The original advertising for this rifle, at least some of the reports I saw, was PSA was claiming and saying that there would be no cast parts in this generation build kit. The Generation 1 build kit had cast trunnions and possibly cast bolt carriers and bolts, but I don't even know about that. I don't have my Generation 1 with me right now. It's at my brother's, so I can't really compare. But this doesn't appear to be. This appears to be cast. It looks possibly a casting mark here, but I don't know if that's just a wear mark. The finish is, I don't know. I don't know much about that kind of stuff, and I'll roll some still photos through here just so you can see. But here's the wear on it after 375 or so rounds. Everything looks fine. There's typical wear marks and stuff. There's no mushrooming, at least nothing that I'm worried about on the carrier tail. It looks fine. I don't know how well that's showing. I'll show some still photos here. But no real wear marks on the piston itself. Everything looks fine to me. The bolt, same thing. There's some wear on it, of course, from breaking in, but it looks fine. The extractor is still nice and tight, but everything looks good. The inside of the rifle, let me move in for this one, try to get it. All right, that's about as good as I can get it focused. But you can see in there, just typical wear. I don't see anything that stands out to me. There's a couple little wear marks back here on the rear trunnion. I'm not sure if it's what's hitting back there, but a little mark right here on the safety where the carrier or something's is rubbing against it. But I'm sure those are all just break-in marks. I'm sure they won't get any worse, but I don't know. We'll see as I shoot it more. Let's look at the gas tube. Gas tube on mine, or the gas tube lever, never moved. It's tight, but it's not too tight. I can't finger move it with my hand, so I actually like that. A lot of my other AKs, you have to use the bolt carrier thing or some other tool to move it. It's perfect. To me, it's the perfect tightness. The gas tube looks fine. Nothing wrong in here. Like I said, handguard's nice and tight. No real issues with it. Like I said, the muzzle brake up here is a little, it rattles and is a little loose, but it hasn't come loose. It hasn't unthreaded or anything. And the little pin there, although it wants to slide all the way out, I think I pointed this out in the initial video. See how it'll slide out, but then it's like the spring's wrong or something in there. But it doesn't come all the way out, and it doesn't let the muzzle device come loose. So all that's fine. The piston sits right where it should in the gas port. It's not too far. It's not too far back or too far forward or anything. So my example, which is it's a sample of one, obviously, but mine seems pretty tight, pretty good. I mean, if the bolt carrier, and this was what I was saying earlier, there's really only two issues I have with this build kit, and this is mainly for people who are looking at buying this and have no real experience with doing any kind of gunsmithing or troubleshooting or anything like that, because Palmetto's website, they have a build video and it shows how easy it is to put together, and all these kind of things. And I've never built an AK like a lot of other guys on the forum I visit. I've never built one, but Palmetto makes it look like that. And it's real simple to do, real easy to do, no problems whatsoever. She did it in about the video on their website. The girl did it in about 10 minutes, maybe. I don't remember how long the video was, but it definitely didn't take her very long. And if it hadn't have been for the handguard retainer, it probably wouldn't have taken me 10 minutes to put this thing together. But that was my first issue with this build kit from Palmetto. And although it's not a big deal for somebody who has even a novice understanding of gunsmithing like me, I'm no expert by any means, but I have done a few things here and there. I took a round file and I filed down on that double handguard notch that they have, and I got it to fit. It took a little bit of work. I would file, test fit, file, test fit. I didn't want to take too much off, of course. But I got that to fit, and everything fit fine, and it's nice and tight, the lower handguard. And then my other issue is they advertise no cast parts in this rifle. The trunnion's supposed to be billet. They even talk about on their website that there will be a little star on the trunnion if it's billet that indicates it's billet, and that one has the star. So it's supposed to be a billet trunnion instead of cast, which is great, but you can't skimp on the on the other parts too. And it almost seems like that's what they did. And it seems like this bolt carrier is cast, but I don't know. And you know, I'm not having any tail deformation on mine the way some of them are. So I don't know that that's even an issue, even if it is cast. We'll see. I'm going to keep running rounds through it. But anyway, my point is, I don't know that I would recommend this to somebody who doesn't want to fiddle with certain things to get it to work. But if you are an AK enthusiast and you're looking for a really cheap AK, because I mean, if you're somebody like me, I had the recoil spring, I had a trigger group, or the fire control group. I didn't have a safety selector. I didn't have furniture that I liked. Now I could have really went cheap on this one, and I could have put some surplus, or not even surplus, it's some old Wasser furniture that I had from a 2015 Wasser. And for those of you who know what I'm talking about, it's like a really cheap blonde wood. I think it's one of the things they changed. It's not the nice Romanian laminate that they used to have. But anyway, I could have put that on here, and I would have saved me another $50. But I would have had to buy, I didn't have an extra pistol screw and nut. I would have had to buy that. And like I said, I don't really like that blonde wood. But that particular wood anyway. So I bought the build kit that has the hand guards and the pistol grip and the stock, and so I'd have that screw and all that. And plus, I don't have an AK with black plastic furniture. But anyway, I'm digressing. Point is, the barreled receiver itself I got for $379, and the shipping. So with shipping and my FFL fee, I was right around $410 for this. Like I said, I already had a lot of the other parts. I did have to buy a safety selector. I did have pins. I didn't have any trigger hammer pins. They didn't have them in the Rack 1 trigger that I had for it. Which is, by the way, I know a lot of people don't like Century products, but I like the Rack 1 trigger from Century. It's kind of got a little take up. And then you got a nice crisp break. So I like it. But anyway, I digress again. But I had these parts already. And if you added those up, I'd probably have over, somebody who doesn't have those parts, they're going to be over around 525, 530. But I've got under 500 in this, considering I already had those parts. And I know a lot of AK guys that shoot a lot of AKs, they would have those parts already maybe. So anyway, if you're looking to just get another cheap AK to throw in your safe, maybe to have it as a range toy or to test out stuff. I haven't tested a rail on this one yet, but if you just wanted one to have, maybe not be your primary AK, I don't think it's that bad of a deal. The prices on the imports is probably going to start coming down. So maybe, if you're considering getting one, you might want to wait. But this one, no problems. And it fed every magazine I have. This is a Croatian magazine. No problems with it. It's got that bolt hold open feature that most AK mags don't. Of course, when you take it out, it drops it home. Even this cheap Tapco, real cheap Tapco, and it worked fine. Surplus European. Everything fit good, shot good. I didn't have any issues shooting it at the range. And I'll roll in footage of that, of course, if I haven't already. So anyway, would I recommend this rifle for what I would consider like a novice AK owner, or as your only AK? No, I wouldn't. It's that simple. I wouldn't. I'm going to keep mine. I know a lot of people have been sending theirs back for some of the issues they've had. Mine really only had the one big issue from the get-go, and that was the handguard retainer notch. All the other issues, any other issues I had were no big deal. The cast bolt carrier could be down the road, but Palmetto does guarantee all their stuff lifetime warranty, so I'm not really worried about it. If it fails and starts deforming or breaking pieces off or something like that, I'll be sending it back and having Palmetto fix it. But I'm going to keep it, just like with my Gen 1. The Gen 1 still runs fine. I've got probably over 1,000 rounds in it now, And that's not a lot of rounds, I know. Nothing like, you know, Robski does, but you know, I'm going to keep it. But if you're a gun enthusiast like me, and you already have a few other AKs, such as Wassers, you know, OPAPs or Arsenals, obviously, any of the high dollar ones, you're probably not going to be looking at these. But, you know, if you've already got some, this wouldn't be a bad one to have as an extra one. Like I said, for the money. Because I don't think there's any AKs out there on the market right now that are as cheap as $500 to $550 that are any good. If you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see future videos from me. I will have another video of this down the road. I'll probably take it to the range every time I go down. I'll try to document the round count on it so I can keep track of how many rounds I'm putting through it. And I'll do another video at, say, 1,000 rounds and see what it looks like. So anyway, thank you for watching, and be safe out there shooting. Have a nice day.